Hello, Lee Anthony Davis here. Yesterday I was interrupted by the weather, so this time I've decided to do the watch along again for episode 4 of The UnEarthly Child, and I'm going to get straight on with it. So here we go. I'm going to play it now. Uh, Ready? Go. Right, credits are on. So what I'll do is I'll explain as I'm going along. So at least it won't be just like watching it. Might as well watch it on television than watch me. So I'll explain it as I go along. Okay, here we go. Right, just for, you know, copyright and all that, turn it off. Right, here we go. Uh, we're at the stage where Kai has stopped the companions escaping to the TARDIS. We get that stops. That moves on to another shot of the father of her. This is called Forest of Fear. This episode written by Anthony Colburn. Right, are you ready? So here we go. So we return to where the tribe are. The companions bring back Sar, who's badly injured through the fight with the great big monster bear or whatever it was in the woods. Now Kai is about to sort of make his move on the tribe. He is about to say, right, I am going to fit Kai up for the murder of the old woman, which he killed himself. Uh, Unfortunately, Sar cannot do anything because he is badly injured. So it's up to his mate, her, to dispute this claim by Kai. So anyway, there's a bit of dialogue going on. Uh, as it was pointed out when we did the early drafts, they sort of written it that the woman wasn't going to die, the old woman was going to die, but they changed their minds and when they rewrote the script again. So anyway, they've been brought back. They're brought back from the forest, and they're imprisoned. They'll be imprisoned in a minute into the Cave of Skulls. Uh, so what they're doing is Kai is trying to establish himself as leader. The Doctor is having none of it, and he brings out a stone accusing Sar of murdering the old woman. Now what happens is the Doctor plays his cross-examination bit like he's in a courtroom. Uh, Kai says, "This is the start. This is the stone that killed the woman." The Doctor says, "There's blood on it. It's proof it's SARS." No, the Doctor says, "How can it be possible? He was with us. The woman was killed when we weren't here." So the Doctor's appealing to the rest of the tribe, and I think he's doing a good job. The recording date was on the 8th of November 1963 in Studio D at Lime Grove. It won't film anymore because of the problems that they've been facing with the water sprinklers coming down when it comes to a certain temperature. So anyway, Kai has been found for his lies. Now he's been cast out by the tribe, and miraculously, Sar recovered quickly of the last stone. Right, so Ian believes that he's done a good thing by getting rid of Kai, and with Sar on his side, it looks like they'll be able to get out, but I don't think so. I think Sar's got other ideas. He's not going to let them go. Unfortunately, he's going to have them imprisoned back into the caves of skull, all four of them, and they're going to have to make him fire. That's the plan, but it won't work out like that. Right, so I'm going to read off some of the stuff. Uh, so I'll let you know what's going on and how the story, because I wanted to add a bit more than just me talking. Some BBC documents call this serial Doctor Who and the Tribe of Gum. Some call it Doctor Who and 100,000 years BC. So they had some new titles before they came up with this one: Doctor Who and The Unearthly Child. So Verity Lambert tended to refer to it as the Paleolithic Age. It was a Stone Age, really. It was a Stone Age. But this is just before they went on to villages, because that's when the Paleolithic period ended. The Stone Age began. Now, because they started to domesticate their animals and stuff like that, and became more civilized. So they weren't known as nomads anymore. Nomads is when they don't stay in one place; they're on the move. Their dwelling place is the caves. So anyway, we get this close shot of all four of them being led back into the cave where they see all these skulls, previous owners, but we don't see the corpse because that would have meant hiring the actress for another week. In other words, they weren't going to have Eileen Way play the dead corpse because they'd have had to pay her extra money to do that scene. Well, that's the reason why you don't see the corpse, the old woman. So a close up of Ian with sweat all over him. I think it's butter actually. Who knows? Mervyn Pinfield, the associate producer, made the most durable contribution to television by becoming the first person to introduce the auto cue. That happened in Doctor Who. So Doctor Who's the first for the auto cue, believe it or not. And Mervyn Pinfield is the man to thank for that. Right, Kai is now discussing with his mate on what to do next with the captives. And obviously, he doesn't want to kill them because he needs fire, and they can make him fire. So this is what this is all about, basically. Him establishing himself with the tribe to make sure that he has the power and he will be established as the leader of the group because he's not really the leader of the group yet. Nobody is sort of confirming this. So another close up of Kai, another close up of Ophelia Charlton, who plays her. A bit more information for you. Verity Lambert, of course, as you know, the showrunner of Doctor Who in the 60s, early 60s. Also went on to do Minder and many other programs for the ITV industry and also Euston Films. Now, Euston Films used to make the Sweeney and Minder. I'll let you know that. And that's how Dennis Waterman from the Sweeney got his role for Terry McCann in Minder itself. So wondered how that happened. There you go. It was basically shoehorned in from one point to another. John Ford went a different way. He became a especially when he saw him as Regan. It's hard to believe, isn't it? He did play a copper though. As it says there, she was successful at 10 television in 1974 to 76, and then she went to Euston Films, where she sort of established Minder. It was her design, that, and it was a great film. Sorry, it was a great series, a great cult TV series of Arthur Daly and Terry McCann, alias George Cole and Dennis Waterman. She's also done other stuff as well in the later. She did Jonathan Creek, if you recall. But she'd also worked under Sidney Newman before, believe it or not, as his production assistant in Armchair Theatre. Uh, that's how Sidney Newman chose her in the first place to run the show itself. She didn't want to do somebody else. She didn't want to be onto somebody else. So she said, before all this happened, she said, I'm going to give it 1 year and then I'm getting out of television. I'm going to do something else instead. She put it delightfully. She did find it an uphill struggle when she joined the BBC. There was a lot of male chauvinist attitudes, so she was up against it, and she only knew two people there: Sidney Newman, obviously, and Donald Wilson, who were both on holiday when she started work that week. It wasn't going to be easy, was it? They were very obstructive, technically demanding series, but the planners put in small problems for Verity. In other words, are off. I'm sorry, I can't do it today. I'm busy. You know, but she pushed herself onto them, and she became a nuisance, and that really pissed them off. So she had to go and employ other people so she could get what she wanted doing. Designers, people from training colleges, inexperienced directors. She was prepared to go down that route to get rid of those old attitudes that were facing her at the BBC, because she was a woman, she was new, she was young, and it was an old crusty sort of corporation with the old guard still there. Even she couldn't even get a drink at the bar, even though she was a showrunner. She couldn't even, because they didn't like women in the bar. That's a sort of rule of the house at the time. Ridiculous. I know it sounds. Anyway, here we go. We've got a close shot of Asar, who's sort of conferring to his mate what to do. This is about power playing, obviously, to their limit of being a caveman. He wants to establish himself as the leader of the tribe. Now, he's going to approach the doctor and tell him, are you okay? Are you comfortable? Is the meat good? That sort of thing. So he's on his way. So we cut to the doctor, he and Barbara, who are making a fire. Uh, in my opinion, it could be a big mistake, because if they give him fire, shows his people, their role's superfluous to the whole thing, and so they'll be prisoners. So anyway, so the camera shot moves to Sar talking to his on the spot guard, who is actually being watched by Kai from a distance. And I can tell you, Kai will take that guard out because he will have his back to him, and then he'll try and sneak into the tribe again. Colin Bogger. So the doctor is saying, not just you should know the secret, Sar, but the whole tribe should know the secret. That meaning, if they all know the secret, he won't be important anymore. And that's why he says, no, I must show the tribe. There we go. So, are you enjoying yourself so far? So, anyway, getting moving on. This is why Kai wants to fire, so he can sort of establish himself as leader. But the problem was, Ian thought it would be a good idea at the time, as you know, good ideas at the time are not so good after all, because then Sar, shows his tribe he's got fire. He's the one they can trust, and they will be forced to stay in the caves and be joined with their tribe, which I don't think the doctor is going to put up with. The way out, don't you? They're going to find a way to. So anyway, they're making a fire for for Sar, sorry. Yeah, there was a problem working with fire in the studio. Obviously, there was health and safety sort of limits away with, because of electrical wires and stuff around the place that could easily catch on fire if they started in the studio. So they have to be very careful. The instrumental music that accompanies this. I'll rewind that back a bit, shall I? Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? I just missed his name. That, so I'm just watching the father of her and her consulting with each other. Her is trying to say that Tsar is the man for the job. He should run the tribe. And the father says, no, only the man who makes fire should run the tribe. So this is why Tsar is desperately trying to get the fire so he can show his people. Big mistake though, because they let him go to show his people, and they've now established him as leader. Unfortunately, they will not be considered as important, so he will have them imprisoned to make fire for him all the time. That's the idea, because he's going to assert his authority now. Ah, here we are. Now this is the big fight scene. Kai has just appeared on the scene, and Tsar is there, and now they're fighting each other. One's got an axe, one's got a big massive stick. And actually, the fight scenes are quite gruesome, especially with the camera angles. They're quite good. They make it look more ferocious than what it is. The sequences was pre-filmed at Ealing Studios on the 10th and 11th of October of 1963. Right? So they did a lot of pre-filming as well. Stuntman Derek Ware, who is synonymous with Doctor Who, is the main stuntman. He filled in for Kai on certain scenes, with the very, very difficult fight scenes. He was sort of orchestrated into it, so he's playing his double. So Derek Ware, when you see Kai to the back, that's actually Derek Ware. And vice versa. Billy Cornelius, another stuntman, was Czar's stunt double. When he's turned his back and they're doing some important fight scenes, that is actually Billy Cornelius, not Derek Newark. Anyway, Tsar's on the floor. Uh, shall I say, Kai's on the floor. Tsar's on top of him. Kai bites his hand. And now Kai jumps onto him, but fortunately, Tsar puts his leg in the way and throws him with his leg. So he goes flying over. So that's a stomp. There were also a lot of editing going on and irritating the film editor, John House, with his enthusiastic suggestion. So it was all about saving money, really. So anyway, here we are. They both got their sticks in their hand. Kai has sort of lost his opportunity. The axe has been taken away from him, and now Tsar is throwing his stick all over. He hits Kai, but he manages to recover, and they both wrestle on the floor. Another drop kick coming up. The usual stompman stuff. That's a throw, so that must be stuntman stuff as well. Level on-screen violence in this scene caused concern at production office level. In other words, it might be a bit too much for children watching this at the time. So anyway, shall I say, Tsar gives him a flying kick in the face, and obviously Kai goes down. During the filming, Jeremy Young was asked to restrain his performance as Kai's screams. In other words, he was making scream noises in the background before going too much. Anyway, Tsar's got Kai around the throat, and he's gonna break his neck. I think he throws him to the ground. But then to finish him off, he's going to find a big, massive rock and chuck it on his head. So I thought I'd let you know about that. The sound of Kai's skull being crushed was simulated by smashing a pumpkin with a hammer. So there you know some of the secrets of the sound effects. Delia Derbyshire's workshop. So they used all sorts of things. You could have cans as well, sort of making weird noises, water dripping like that, or running. Or, these are all the sounds they use. Simple things like cops and cans and lighters and stuff like that. It's all added to the sound effects that they used, So they weren't that sort of sophisticated when it came to making sound effects. I'm telling you, just normal household goods would do it. As I said, they took the piano thing out. They took the whole thing from the piano, the strings, and used that up and down motion to make the sound of the TARDIS materializing. So the gruesome shot of Kai being smashed to the ground, but they cut that sequence obviously, and they just take the shot to the companion. Do Barbara turns her head like that, and the Doctor looks completely shocked and horrified. To be honest with you, so it was originally edited sequence, then showed the results of Tsar's handiwork. So when they re-edited, they sort of redone it again to make sure it wasn't too gruesome for children. So anyway, Tsar's dragging the dead body of Kai to the side. He's pushed him around, so his body is upwards. He's just left him on the ground. So he's claimed victory on that one. Right, and so in early draft, after Kai is vanquished, Ian makes fire before the whole tribe's carefully showing them what he's doing at every stage. In other words, he's doing the demonstration in front of them so they can see what he's doing. But they decided to cut that, and so they gave to Kai to Star. I keep saying Kai is dead; he's out of it now. Star, and basically that's what's going on. Star takes the fire to the tribe, and that's where the companions have got trouble, because they should have gone out with him, but he wouldn't let them do that. So they made the fire, they've lit it on the torch, and Sar is now about to go out, and he tells Ian, "No, you can't come out with me." The Doctor says, "Let him establish himself for the tribe, and then we've got favoritism with the tribe's leader so we can leave. But it's not going to be like that." Right, so everybody is pleased with Sar. They're all putting their hands up towards the fire, which Sar is holding the torch. And basically, uh, they agree now that he is leader of the tribe. He has now established himself, apparently. So anyway, I'm going to move off the trivia, move on to the most important bit, the subtitles. Right. So anyway, they got the fire, and Sar is returning to the cave of skulls. But we take the camera shot, goes to the cave of skulls before we get to, obviously. We see Ian and Barbara being shot, and with her jumping in the middle. Barbara is asking her why we can't go outside, and she's saying it's terrible in here. Then she's trying to say Zar is now leader, but Susan is not happy about this, and she says, "Look, we helped you make fire, but I don't think her is going to listen. We have the fire now. In other words, we've got the power. We're going to keep you." And Ian feels like an idiot for giving him, being a fool by giving him the fire in the first place. He should have gone out with him. But Barbara, with her moralising, says, "At least we're alive." So they're all another camera shot of the tribe round the fire, all all crouching each other to get to the fire, putting their hands out in front of it. Well, the camera shot goes to Ian again, with him on the floor with a headshot, with his head upside down, obviously. And the doctor finds a stone with a hole in it, and they fill it with water. So they put it over the fire so it heat the water, so they could probably make coffee. Who knows? Or PG tips. Right now, Sar has decided what's going to happen to them, and he asks them, "Are you happy? Is the meat good?" But the companions are not happy, and they're not talking to him at the moment. And one of them, Ian, says, "When are you going to let us go?" He says, "You're not leaving because you and my tribe can join together. Together, we can be powerful." But the companions do not want to stay or stay in that period, let alone help him out. They've already helped him out for what? For him to keep them prisoner. And he's warning them, "Don't try to leave the cave or we will kill you." But that would be pointless because they won't be able to make fire because he doesn't know how to make fire. But it's an old trick to scare them into staying. So anyway, Susan's got a torch, a lit torch of fire, and she puts a skull over it. And it looks like these are, uh, well, it looks like it will fool the cavemen, thinking that they are dead. Um, so Ian has a brave plan to make 4 torches with fire and put 4 skulls over it. So it would mean it would be them, but while the cave and the cave dwellers, the tribe, come in, stand back in amazement, they can slip out. That's how it works. The old sort of draw their attention away. So anyway, we're coming to the bit where Ian and Barbara and Susan and the doctor hide behind one of the rock walls. Her comes in and she's terrified what she sees. So all the tribe come in and they're all sitting down not sitting down, kneeling down with their arms up as if they're afraid. And while that's going on, the doctor and his companions slip out the other way. Then suddenly one of the torches with the skull on falls down, and then these are just ordinary skulls. We've been conned. Send the tribe to See, there it is. There it goes. The skull has fallen, and now Sar becomes braver. It says, "These are just skulls with torches, with fire. These are the bones of the dead. They have gone. Quick, after them. Into the dark of the night." No, he says, "We have fire now. We can see what we're doing. We can see where we're going. With fire, it is day." So the companions are rushing back miraculously to the TARDIS. Barbara falls on the floor. I think that was deliberate to sort of bring the tension in. So the tribe are moving towards the same place as the companions are, towards the TARDIS. Now we get this silly scene where they're running up and down like that, and they're not actually running; they're just jumping up and down the spot with a camera shot angle right at their faces. With somebody obviously putting twigs and trees in their face, so it looks like they're running, but they're not. And then you have that scene where you have one going past, another one going past, another one going past. Yeah, it doesn't look authentic. Right, they're running to the TARDIS. They've got there, and the doctor is lagging behind. He's limping a bit, but he's going to manage. He just turns around before he goes in, and that's it. That's basically the end of the story. They're inside the TARDIS now, the console. I think there'll be a quick switch back from the camera to the tribe looking at their faces. They get ready to throw spears at it, but it's about to dematerialize. So here they go. Sar leads his tribe to chuck spears and whatever they can at it. But the TARDIS dematerializes and the spears pass it into the sand. So basically, it's gone now, and they're stuck. He hasn't got the magic to make fire, so we're back to square one again. So anyway, we're now at the point where they're somewhere in time, but remember they had to make a quick getaway, so there was nowhere checking where they were going to go. We know where they're going to go. It's the Dalek planet, the dead planet. We know that's the next adventure. So he tells Susan to check the gauge or the monitor or the controls to see where they're going. But unfortunately, they got away so quick. And as he tries to explain to Ian, we have no idea where we're going. But I'm sure we will, because the doctor likes to assure that he knows he's in control. But we know he's not in control because he has no idea where the TARDIS is going to take him next. Well, that was the impression we were led to believe, but I'm sure he does know where he's going. But remember, he stole this proof box from the Time Lords, so maybe he doesn't know how to use it properly yet. Gets used to it after being in it so long. So anyway, it's materialized, and there's a dead planet looking at trees through the monitor. It looks like a petrified jungle. This is called. This is where the adventure ends. We're about to see the doctor say, check the monitor or check the Geiger counter, which is reading safe reading. The needle is on the safe reading like that. But as soon as they move away out of camera shot, the needle moves to the danger point. So the whole planet is radiated with radiation. There you go, and it'll flash red for danger. And there we go. That's the end of the episode. I hope you've enjoyed this Unearthly Child with me on 4 episodes. I had to do this one again. I did it yesterday, but sadly the weather was bad again and it caught me sick halfway through. So I thought I'd make up for it by doing it again. As you can see, the credits are rolling. William Hartnell, William Russell, Howard Long, Jeremy Young, Alethea Charlton played her, Derek Czar played Czar, Derek Newark played Czar. Derek Ware was the stuntman. Remember that. Ron Grainer was providing the music from the BBC Radio work harmonic studio, whatever. David Whittaker was the producer. Designer was Barry Newbury. Subject producer was Mervyn Pinfield, who introduced the Altered Cube to Doctor Who. And of course, the one and only producer and showrunner, Verity Lambert. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Oh, I'm sorry. Keep forgetting. They always do it slowly, don't they? Director Wasim Hussein. Right. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it as much as making this. I thought it would only be right to redo this episode 4. Thank you for watching me if you've had time. If not, you can watch this on my YouTube channel and relive episode 4 again. So anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. I'm off to do my groups now because I've got a few members supporting. So until my next watch along, which will be the Daleks, I will see you then. I'll let you know on Twitter or Facebook when I'm going to do it. So thanks a lot. Bye for now, and I hope you have a great day.